Yo,
What's crack-a-lackin'?
what's crack-a-lacking with you?
Oh,
That
yeah.
watch, that watch looks real good on your wrist right now, man.
Does it?
Yeah.
Bro, you need to buy a watch.
Look, I'm not much of a watch guy.
I
I
know,
take a wrist.
I know,
Yeah.
but trust me, it's
Look,
cool.
I just don't even, my brain doesn't register analog time. Is that analog time? See, I don't even know. Yeah. I'm just
Look,
all digital, man.
so
It's like, why would I get a watch? Like, I understand, okay, but here's my stupid logic is like, I have a phone that tells me digital time, and I look at my phone like how many times in 10 minutes. I've always got the time. Now, I know for you, it's not about the time, it's about the status. And it's fine. That's cool. I just don't derive the same status from watches that you do.
I status is definitely part of it.
Yeah.
Also, the memory is a cool thing. People drive a lot of memory from watches. Also, like the craftsmanship and the movement is fucking awesome and intricate once you get into it. So this here, Soph bought me this.
Yeah.
This is God tier. I'll buy you one.
Okay.
This here is a Casio Dive Master. Right?
Yep.
It was give or take $150.
Yep.
It's a epic fucking watch.
Sick.
Very, it's a very cool watch. Yeah, and attach memories to it. I don't know. It's like all stupid things. It's like getting into, it's like getting into any of the stupid things that humans get into. Some people like knives. It's cool. You
Yeah.
don't need, you don't need a $100,000 Patek Philippe to be a watch person.
Yeah. I don't even know what that is, man. And
It's
your argument to me just then did not convince me to get a watch. So maybe one day, Dylan. Maybe.
okay. I'll
Maybe.
I'll see if I can find. I'll see if I can find any of these. I'm sure they're fucking. They're everywhere. See if I can find you
Yeah.
one. Anyway, what are we talking about today?
We're talking about the 3 10s, how to build trust in your sales process. The most important thing in any sale is that you build certainty in the person who's on the receiving side.
Yep.
And there are 3 10s that you have to build. The person on the other side trusts the person that's selling the process. Does the person on the other side trust that the process is best suited to them? Number 3, does the person trust the product and that they can actually get the results? And the 10 is a scale. It's a compendium. How much do they trust you? From 0 to 10.
What is
How
it? Sorry,
much do they compendium?
it's compendium.
Hold on, let me check it up. Let me check out that word. You're just throwing out some words there. I'm not as smart
I've
as I think
never,
I am.
ever heard that word in my life.
Compendium. Hold on, let me look up compendium.
I don't even know how to spell that motherfucker.
Compendium meaning a collection of concise but detailed information about a particular subject. It's definitely not a compendium.
It's not a fucking. It's a continuum.
It's definitely not a compendium, bro. It's a continuum.
I just said it's a fucking That's what I said.
Good. It is
I know
a
that
continuum from
there's
0 to 10. What's
things that
continuum?
know.
Tell me about the definition of continuum. What is the definition of continuum?
It's fucking range.
No, that's compendium.
So there's two things that I know. I know that it's continuum, and I know that I want the Rolex Yachtmaster 2, the new one, which is $22,000. So we need to fucking one RM needs to do
On a
what?
continuum of 0 to 10, how close to you to 10 on wanting that $22,000 watch?
I'll tell you this: when I buy one, I'll get you one as well. Because it's gonna be fucking. It's not gonna be tomorrow, brother. In fact,
right.
Yeah, it is actually 22,000. Fuck me. Anyway,
Yeah, a continuum. So the 3 10s is about getting somebody as close to 10 as possible. In fact, getting them to 10 so that the person on the receiving side has absolute certainty. Trust exists on a continuum, 0 to 10, and you need to get somebody to 10. It's not a compendium, it's a continuum. You've done a lot of research into this. This comes from Jordan Belfort.
the goat.
And he has presented the idea.
First of all, let's break it down. The only reason people come up with objections is because they don't trust you, your product, or your process. So the way you can break that down, real easy. So, Aaron, if I was standing outside of your house right now, I was standing in your driveway, I had the keys to a $1 million Ferrari that I was giving to you in your hand. I'll sign the paperwork over everything, and you can sell that car tomorrow for $1 million. Would you give me 50 grand right now?
Yes.
Of
yes.
course. So
100%.
that there is trading $50,000 for 1.5. People do that every day.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if I said, hey, Aaron, I need $50,000 and I will give you $1 million car, but it's not arriving for a month and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need some more details.
Yeah.
Tell me about the shipping lane. Where's the tracker on it?
Yeah.
Let me talk to the insurance company. Let me talk to the shipping company. I need some more research.
Sure.
If I said to you, look, Aaron, I've got $1 million car that I might sell to you in a year or two, maybe. I need $50,000 for it today.
Yeah. Nah.
Yeah, no,
Not a chance.
because you don't trust.
Yeah.
Exact same thing with your business. So the reason, what's it called? Stomach pumping? What? No, not stomach pumping. Fat pump.
Liposuction.
Liposuction.
That's the same as me calling a continuum a compendium. Fat pumping.
Yeah, but I get words wrong all the time. You know that. And you can you fucking edit over those. You have to translate. You know what I'm saying. You know me well. Liposuction. The reason liposuction how much does it cost to get liposuction?
Let's call it 10 grand. 15 grand.
The reason liposuction, so you lose 10 kilos with liposuction and it costs you 10 grand.
Yeah.
You could go to a gym and lose half a kilo a week for $50 a week.
Yep.
But the liposuction is guaranteed.
Yeah, speed.
So they have high trust, high likelihood that it's going to be success, so they pay for that.
Yeah.
With a gym, your clients every single time are skeptical because they've been to different gyms in the past. They've heard the pitch and it hasn't worked.
Yeah.
So of course they're skeptical. Why would they not be? When you're telling them all these great things, they want to believe you. They do.
Yeah.
Past experience. What's the definition of insanity?
Doing the same thing.
Experience has left them tainted.
Yeah.
So they need to trust you enough. They need to trust you high enough on the trust scale to be above their buying threshold. So for some people, their buying threshold, you, for example, you're like a 6.5, 7. You think it's a good product. It'll probably help me out. I can buy it. Yeah. Me, I'm skeptical as a motherfucker. I don't believe you. I don't trust you. I don't like you.
Yeah.
I need to be at a 10. All we need to do is increase a person's trust in you, your product, and your process to a point where they are able to pass through that buying threshold. The way we do that with objections is by asking them questions and having them answer themselves and having them defeat their own argument. What we can't do is, if you give me a time objection, let's say you say, I don't have enough time in the day, I'm too busy, I'm fucking whatever. And I say, okay, let me call your boss. I will get you the extra 45 minutes a day off work. Or I go through your phone and I see that you're spending 8 hours a day on Pornhub and I fucking delete that. I just find you time. I say, you can't do this anymore. Here's your extra 45 minutes. I've got a solution. They'll instantly hit you with another objection. They'll say, oh, I need to think about it. I need to talk to my wife. And I go ahead, I call the wife up, I run her through the whole pitch. She says, yep, that's a good idea. He then will say, I just don't know if it's a good fit for me. He'll just hit you with another objection because you haven't increased your certainty. So the way we handle objections isn't by solving their problem. It's not by saying, oh, you don't have enough time. We've got a 4 a.m. class. How about you come to that? That fits in your schedule. It's not about doing that. It's about increasing their trust in us. So the way we do that is by asking them real simple questions. So for a time example, because I've used that a bunch of times, I would say, I completely understand. You're quite busy at the moment. Is that what you're saying? You don't have enough time? Yeah, I am quite busy. I get that. So do you think you've got to be busy again in the future as well? Yeah, obviously. Okay. But did you want, and you referenced their pain, the fact that they're not feeling good about themselves and they want to make a change and all that. Did you want all of that to be a lifelong solution, or did you want that to just be a solution for a couple of weeks? Oh, no, I want it to be lifelong, obviously. Now, there's misalignment there. You say, okay. And you got to act like it's your first fucking day on the planet and you've never heard this objection, like you haven't heard it 1,000 times before. And you go, but wouldn't it make sense to you that if we can get you through this busy period now while times are hard, that when they come up again in the future, you'll know how to overcome them because you've already done it before? Doesn't that make sense to you? And then we can actually make this a lifestyle change. Wouldn't you agree with that? So it's flawless logic. It's hard to disagree with. And then you say, because if you can only succeed under perfect circumstances, what's the likelihood of your success?
Yeah.
Or if someone says you're too expensive, same thing. So I completely understand we are really expensive. Is $1,000 a lot of money to you? Yeah, it is a lot of money. Okay. If you were to sign up, hypothetically, would you spend $1,000 and then not show up? No, obviously not. Okay. If you were to spend that money, you're more likely to show up. Now, if you're more likely to show up, do you think you're more likely to get results? Yeah, obviously. So how important are results to you? Like, really difficult to disagree with logic. Increasing their certainty, increasing their trust in you and your product before you can pass over that threshold and close them.
Yeah.
Each time you run into an objection, every single time it's because I don't trust you enough. You have to keep handling them, keep shutting them down, show them and remind them as to why that you're the person to help them out before you can pass through that threshold. Does that make sense?
My question is, do you think that the 310s only show up in the pitch, or can we create certainty at the beginning of those conversations in the person product process?
Yep. Okay. Real quick. If you had right now, how hard would it be for me to sell you leukemia treatment? How hard would it be to sell you? Hard. Because you don't have it.
Yeah.
Right? So if there is no illness, there is no cure.
Yeah.
If they don't have an illness, you can't present a cure. So you need to discover, first of all, as a good coach, is there an illness? And how bad is that illness? How much is it hurting them? How much do they hate it?
Yeah.
And then what will happen if they don't change that illness? What happens if they don't solve it? And then what have they done in the past to get better? The whole conversation is about building trust from day dot.
Yeah.
If you can't get to a proper pain point, if you can't get to a proper pain cycle, if you can't get them to break down and say, hey, look, I really need to change this right now because my wife's telling me I'm a fat fuck and I hate how I look in the mirror.
Yeah.
If you get somebody to say that to you, what's the likelihood of you closing them? Decent, I hope. If you have somebody on the phone crying about how much they can't stand looking in the mirror, they have to have sex with the lights off, they don't look in the mirror before they get out, like the shout they've had.
Yeah.
That's pain.
Yeah.
That needs to be solved. Yeah. And because you understand that, and because you're empathetic, and because you're caring, there's trust. And then my favorite thing at the end of the problem cycle, so just before I pitch, I say, look, on a scale of 1 to 10, how committed are you to getting your result? And they say, oh, I'm a 7 out of 10. It's about typical. And you say, okay, cool. What's the gap between you being a 7 and you being a 10? And they give me some reason. You handle that. And you ask them again, what's this on a scale of 1 to 10? How committed are you? And they say, I'm a 10 out of 10 committed. So you've just got this previous agreement that they're 100% committed to making a change.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice, man. How would you, using what you've just said, how would you increase certainty at the beginning of a call as it relates to the person, the salesperson? What are you going to be able to do to increase somebody's certainty at the beginning of a call so that you don't have to deal with the objection?
Yep. So first thing I say at the start of every call, and I know I covered this in a previous podcast at some stage, is at the start of every single call, I say, hey, look, I set the expectation, I set the goal. The goal for today is to figure out where you're currently at in terms of your health and fitness and where you're looking to go.
Yeah.
If I can help you out, awesome. We can talk about that. If not, I'm going to refer to someone in the area who can help you out. Does that sound fair enough to you?
Yeah. Yeah. That's very good, because your pre-frame, how you address a call, so you greet them as a friend, your first 4 seconds matter, and then removing resistance by inserting that little disclaimer allows the conversation to move forward, and it doesn't feel like you've got some ulterior motive moving into the subsequent questions that you've got. You're also able to dig further because they've agreed to you asking questions, which I always used to find is a barrier for a lot of people who are new to sales. Is I just feel wrong asking questions, or they just give me superficial answers. Yeah, but if you give them that disclaimer and you get permission, now you can. They've said that you can. And then you can even call them back to that agreement. Hey, look, at the beginning of the call, you did say that. And in order for me to actually help you and understand if this is a good fit for you, I need to be able to discern your answers. Likability is a huge aspect to that. If you're just an awkward person who makes the conversation feel awkward, the likelihood of someone trusting you at the end of the sales interaction is going to be very low. You mentioned a couple of things about the process. Speed is obviously a key in any sort of value equation, right? Because if I could give you a pill and then you could get that result tomorrow, or you can have surgery and you can get that result tomorrow, that's cool. We'll pay a lot for that. But in fitness, speed is an element that's taken away from the sales process. How do we improve certainty in the process and the product? Because they're similar, not the same, but
we have lots of social proof, lots of testimonials, lots of before and afters, lots of Google reviews, Facebook reviews, all over our consultation area.
100%, man. If you go into a consultation area and it's just regular walls, you can battle until the cows come home. But if you walk into a consultation area and you've just got layers of testimonials, before and afters, and then someone objects, and you're just like, yeah, but look at Stephen, and then look at Liam, and then look at Jeremy. Look, they all have gotten those results. What makes you any different to them? And it's, oh, I can see that. So the layer of resistance does come down just by seeing social proof. And you can layer social proof through the entire buying process up until that point as well. There's a book by Robert Cialdini. What is it called? I can't remember what it's called, but the whole idea is understanding the psychology of somebody and layering in and pre-framing somebody before they even interact with you, so that they already have preconceived ideas of the solution that you're giving them. And what is that book called?
The Psychology of Persuasion.
Yeah, that's the one. If you want to pre-frame the social proof and the certainty of the process and the product, then layer that into the automations that go out. Layer that inside of, hey, your booking confirmations. Hey, the conversation that we had reminded me of this guy, and he was able to get these results. Is it cool if I send you a couple of testimonials of people that I feel like are similar to you in the conversation that we had? Yeah, that's cool. Awesome. Send them through. Right? Like that stuff gives them and pre-frames them to understand that you guys can get results. That's cool, man. I think that becomes super clear. The problem is when we get to the end of the conversation and we haven't layered all of these things, we haven't got them to a 10, we then encounter resistance. And then that's why we have to learn how to handle objections, because then we just start to cycle them back through and break down those resistances and get them to a higher degree of certainty with those 3 areas. That's it, guys. That's the 3 10s. That's how you build trust inside of your sales process. We'll be back for another.
No.
Later,
Peace and
boss.
love you long time.